everybody. This is Spring, the fiber enthusiast. Well, I've got kind of a different style video for you. Just a little bit of a what did we do this week situation. I didn't get a whole lot of yarn stuff done, but I did go to our coal mining exhibition with the in-laws and had a good time. They got to see it. They had a really good time. And I took some photos and some video footage from underground. And the old miner, he worked 15 years in the mine, which is very, very little amount compared to normal. He said he was very fortunate that way. He tells some really cool stories and serious stories about, what the miners went through way back. It's not as bad now, of course, but way back it was really bad. And so, yeah, I'm sorry I don't have music with the pictures because for whatever reason, I haven't been able to figure out how to put music with just the pictures and not the whole video. So in order for you to hear his stories and me on talking now, I can't put any music with the pictures yet. I'm getting there. I'll get it one day. But anyway, without further ado, I hope you enjoy. It's a lot more pictures than videos, but the videos kind of break up the pictures. There's a lot of pictures at the beginning, video, a lot of pictures at the end. But I hope you enjoy.
is. It'll have a mud seam that'll go around it. You have to look close sometimes to see it. When air hits it, it dries that mud seam out. I have seen them fall within 45 seconds, and they do not make a noise, ladies and gentlemen, till they hit the ground. If you're under it, you're what we miners call history. We will talk about you and not to you. Now, the old man carried one bucket. It was metal. The reason being was to keep squeaky out of them. Now, you gentlemen pay close attention. This might save your marriage. This is what the coal miner's pie pan. This is what his wife puts his dessert in. Gentlemen, you get up on the section, you open your bucket and it's empty, you have forgotten something important. Her birthday, her anniversary. I don't know what it is, but you better come up with something. Some reason to take her out to dinner, some reason to buy her flowers. If you can't remember, I'd make something up. But I'd be sure I took care of this, because it goes downhill from here. This is his dinner bucket. This is what she'll put his brown beans, fried potatoes, cornbread, chicken leg or two if you're lucky, or maybe just plain old West Virginia coal miner steak, bologna sandwiches. Gentlemen, if that's empty, don't worry about going home. Just go ahead and work another shift. You see, your house is going to be dark, your pots are going to be cold, and she ain't going to be there. This is your water, approximately 1 gallon. It's got to last you for longer than 12 hours. You see, you never drink all your water, and you never eat all your food while you're still underground. Should something happen and you can't get out of this mines, whatever you've got left in this bucket is what you may have to survive on for the next 5 to 7 days. After that, it'll be iffy whether you're still with us or not. This man got tired of people drinking his water while he was underground at the face.
Dentures.
You got it? Now, I don't know about you all, but this man's not going to have to worry about me drinking his water. You see, I'm particular what floats around in my drinking water that I didn't put in there myself. With that being said, I will carry my own drinking water. Now, we went to this metal bucket to keep Squeaky out, but the problem with it is Squeaky gets smart. He learned that he could wrap his tail in there and give it a few jerks, and he still had lunch. So we went to those buckets with the snaps. Now, when I left the mines, he hadn't learned to unsnap them yet. Just the two-legged rats got into them. Now, with that loading machine, they got to have a couple other pieces of equipment. Oh, excuse me. Like I sucked a bug down my throat. Didn't know there was any flying around in here. The first thing you got to have is this Goodman cutting machine. You notice the bar on that has 12 foot. It's 12 foot long and it has a 12-foot chain. When he sumps it up to the frame, he's going to cut one hole, 12 foot deep, and he'll cut from one side to the other side. The next guy will be your drill operator. The bit on his drill is 12 feet. He's going to drill one hole, 12 feet deep. He'll be 3 times deeper than that man up there did by hand. Then your shot fire comes in. Now you've undercut it, drill it, shot it. In comes your loading machine, loads it out between 30 and 45 minutes max. This man up here at the shovel by hand is going to take the biggest part of 2 hours to do a 4-foot piece. Now when this mine went underground, this is what your bosses got around. This is called a rail scooter. They would bring it in, set it on the rail, drop down on his knee, and then let him go in and check on his men and his mines at his pace. When power come underground, they got rid of that little fella. It made somebody above ground a millionaire several times over. You see, he changed the wheels and extended the handle. This became what you all have bought for your kids called scooters. This is the great-great-granddad of them. I own 3 of them, cannot ride either one. I think it's because the wheels of the handles are not right. Now, I've been told that's not much money, but you know, back then, it paid more money underground than it did above ground. To give you a little better idea, in 1974 when I went underground. The union had just gotten a new raise, and depending on what piece of equipment, you can make up to $50 a day. Now I've had some young people say, well, I didn't make much money. But you know, back then, federal minimum wage was $1.60 an hour. It does not take a genius to figure out if you're willing to take the risk, where you'll make the money. We think the world of our employees. So this is what we do for them. When we give you a job, we only require a 12-hour shift out of you minimum. And in that 12-hour shift, we require a minimum of 10 of these 1-ton cars. Now, for each one of those 1-ton cars you mine me, I will give you 20 cents. Now, when that car goes outside, you must pay the weighmaster, not me. He's the man that weighs your car and your coal. And he will charge you, depending on the mines, between 2 and 5 cents per car per day. That's another motor moving on the rail on the other side.
Thank you.
Never worry about it. If you see me kind of easing down this way, you might want to fall. Otherwise, you're as safe in here as you are in your own home. Now, the old men, like the new miners, have a tag number. No two miners will have the same number. The mines I worked at, depending on how we flipped this, told them whether I was underground or if I was home. The old miners didn't do that. You see, they would load their car, tag their car, push their car out here so the crew with the horses could pick them up and take it outside. But there's a problem. You see, when your car goes outside, there's nobody watching it. They don't care about your coal. Somebody comes through and there's nobody looking. He hooks your tag, throws it away and puts his on it. Now he's getting paid for your work and your coal. As a company, I don't care who gives me the coal, as long as I've got it to sell. This miner come in one day, he got tired of being shorted. Cut him off at 2 laid his tag down, drove a nail through it, threw it in that car, loads his coal on top of it, and sends it outside. You see, if you don't have 10 tons very many days in a row, you won't have a job. And the day you lose your job, you lose your house. You will be out bright and early the next morning, you and your family, because there'll be a crew there to set you all out. Now this gentleman, like I said, got tired of being shorted. He throws his tag in there and he covers it up. Now it looks like he's outsmarted them, hasn't he? You see, the problem of it is, you don't always work with the crooks. You may work for them. You take this 2-ton car back here behind you. You see that gray and brown stuff? Oh yes, I forgot to tell you, that's rock. We don't mine rock in this mines. You mine rock. You come in on your day off, which is usually Sunday, or at the end of your 12-hour shift, you will load all the rock you've mined in that car, or however many cars it takes to get it outside, and you will unload all of them. And we do not pay you for that. That's work that has to be done, and you will do it. Now, should your coal with the rock in it get to the weighmaster, he's going to endear himself to you for life, because he's going to penalize you for sending that rock down to him. He's going to take 1 whole ton of that 2-ton car that you won't get paid for. Now, as a company, I'm not really worried about the rock. You see, I've got 5 to 8-year-old kids out in a dusty little building picking all that dirty old rock out of that coal for me, making me clean coal to sell. At 8 to 12, you can come underground, scale the top, set timber, shovel loose coal. We'll drive a team of horses. Now, that sounds like a good job, don't it? There's a little problem with that. You see, if one of my horses is hurt, you're fired. I think more of that horse than I do of you. The reason being, I've got more invested in that horse than I do you. You didn't cost me a dime. And I've got 5 men standing outside the drift mouth waiting for your job, and they don't care how they get it. That horse probably cost me $50, $75. I've got to bring him underground, and in the next 30 days plus, teach him to work in the dark with a little lamp on his head and pull that load. You see, they don't do that normally. It's not natural for them, so they have to be trained. 12 years old, your dad can bring you underground, and in that 28-inch seam of coal, he can train you to be a coal miner. Now, we do not pay you to be trained to be a coal miner. What we will do is we'll give your dad the extra coal you helped him mine. When your dad tells the boss, he's a qualified miner. He will come and take you from your dad's ever-loving arms, and he will take you to another part of this mines where you'll open up at 12 years old your own one-man section. And at that time, you will give me a 12-hour shift. You will produce me 10 tons of coal, and I will give you 20 cents per ton. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm told this mines went around the whole city of Beckley. So it gives you a little idea how big this little mines was. Now, a lot of these miners never seen a payday. Reason being, we're too far away from a bank. So I'm not going to pay you cash. What I'm going to do is I have my own company store. Anything you want, clothes, food, coal, water, tools, I got it all. And we'll pay you in script. It's only good at my store now. But you can get everything you want. And I'm only going to charge you twice as much as any place else will. But where are you going to go? If you had a car, you wouldn't be living in a coal camp. Now, that went along for years. Finally, the federal government stopped in and said, hey, you can't do that. If that man works 40 hours, you've got to pay him for 40 hours. If he buys $300 of product, he has to pay you. You see, my store wasn't set up like that. Because I had set that if you needed money, I'd loan it to you. We're going to draw on the payday you're going to be working out. You see, I knew how much I was going to get. You didn't. So I had to finally close my doors because I couldn't stand waiting for my money. I was used to taking my money ahead of time. You had to wait on anything that was going to be left over. Although it sounds like we may be backing out there. Now, once that's done, then the store closed and the coal company was by itself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's been 55. It looks like it's 58 degrees in here. Wow. Bathing suit weather. This mine runs in this winter. I've seen it down as low as 40. I've seen it up even with 60 degrees. You will not burn up in here, but you certainly won't freeze to death either. Now, this mine is what they call naturally ventilated. What that means is barometric pressure and wind determine how much air you'll have in this mine. Now, I just told you we had black dip, so we need more air in it. How are we going to get it? Oh, they didn't tell you y'all was going to be tested, did they? Oh, well, good. Nobody knows? When we come in out here to the fresh cut rock right there at the drift mouth, did any of you notice a little hole? Well, you see, if I need more air, I'll go down there and build a fire, and I'll draw through this mine like a chimney. Did any of you happen to see? Well, see how sharp-eyed you are. My ducks feeding down here beside the rib? Nobody? It's not looking good. Did you see my owl sitting over top of my ducks watching them? No? Oh, it's not looking good at all. All right. When we came in, did any of you happen to see my black and white horse with the red eyes looking down the straight entry at us when we come in the drift mouth? Nobody? Not a soul? Good, because there wasn't one over there. I had a woman tell me here, oh, it's 5 weeks now. She don't only see my spotted horse over there. She see a little man standing beside him. Ladies and gentlemen, I spent 5 weeks looking for this little man. Either he got out before I found him, or he's lost in here. Now, when we leave here and go to the other side, we're going to quit picking the coal out from under the rock. I'm going to show you what they had to do to prepare to shoot it down with black powder, and then we're going to transition to when electricity came underground. Ready to go? Any questions? Oh, all right. Carry this little bird around with them, called a canary. They'd bring him in. Some would set him on the floor. A lot of them put him up on a post so he was eye level. They could look around at him every now and then. As long as he's up moving around, things was great. Just keep right on mining coal. He got quiet. You look around, he's laying in there like mine is. He's dead. And if you don't start backing back to fresh air or to the outside, you're going to be laying right beside him and be just as dead as he is. Oh, yes. And if for some reason the black damp gets your bird and it doesn't get you, before you come back to work, come by the company store and buy you a new one. We keep an ample supply of them. Now, this is what your 12-hour shift will look like. This is what your section's going to look like while you're working. And during that 12 hours, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to fill this thing up, depending on how big a flame you've got, at least 6 times. And this is what it's going to look like while you're doing it. Wow. Now, don't look around for your buddy, because you see mine is a one-man, one-section mine. Don't look for the section boss, because he's probably 2 breaks up from you, trying to get his own lamp lit. You all didn't realize coal miners could see in the dark, did you? You thought it was just cats. When this mine was opened, it was owned by the Phillips family from here in Beckley. Supposedly, they were digging a post hole and they found coal. This is the soul seam of coal. It's classified as a soft bituminous coal. On this side over here, where you see the black and the gray separate, that's 28 inches. For 12 hours, you will be on your stomach. On this side over here behind you, where you see the black and the gray separate, that is 36 inches. If you're young and flexible, you can duck walk in that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you go underground along with buying your tools, you need a way to check your air. You need a way to see. This is one of the first miner's lamps. It's called a teapot. It uses coal oil, and it has a wick. It's classified as an open flame light. It is highly illegal in today's mines. Now, it was the main tool of the fire boss. Even today, the fire boss is the first man in the mines, and nobody comes in until he comes out and says everything's okay. His main job is to check the general conditions of the mines. He's also going to be looking for a couple of things that you can't see. The first one is black damp. Black damp is a coal miner's way of saying oxygen deficient air. Heavier than air with oxygen in it, it will fall to the floor and it will build up. It will kill you slowly and you won't even realize you're dying unless you know what's happening. You see, it will give you the same indication. You've been working too hard. You need to sit down. Just close your eyes for a few minutes. Or maybe you've been out all night and you're tired. Just shut your eyes for a bit and take just a little nap. At 12% black damp, you will pass out, and below 12%, death will occur. The next thing he's going to be looking for is methane. Methane's a gas. Rather than air, it rises to the top. It works its way down. At 5% methane, add some oxygen and an open flame, and you now have a violent mine explosion. Excuse me. Now, when these men goes into work, he's going to come in here and he's going to take his little lamp. He's usually going to start about waist high. He's going to be looking for black damp. He's going to watch this flame. If this flame grows weak, flickers, tries to go out, he needs to back out of here. He has black damp and he needs to get more air in this area of the mines. The next thing he's going to look for, if he hasn't found any of that, he's going to keep going up and he's going to be looking for methane. He'll burn off little pockets of methane as he comes across them. If he misread the conditions and there's more methane there than what he anticipated, there should be a loud explosion. We will then come in to see what happened and find him in some type of condition. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the average miner, this is good for 1 hour. In a 12-hour shift, and that's what you'll be working, you'll load this a minimum of 12 times.
So that's it, folks. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Until the next video, see you next time. Be blessed and be a blessing. Bye, guys.